Does anyone really care about Skin by Kim? Do you even remember Skin by Kim? The skincare brand was expected by many to be this huge success, just like KKW Beauty had been. But just 4 years after Skin launched, it has pretty much all but disappeared. Like, honestly, when was the last time you heard anyone talk about it? Talk about the brand at all? I don't even think I've seen anyone touch it on TikTok. I've seen some people even think that it's closed down. Like, I wouldn't blame you for thinking that too, but despite the lack of attention from consumers, the website is still there, it's still running, though a lot of the products are out of stock and have been for a pretty long time. So how exactly did Kim Kardashian take the pretty massive success of KKW Beauty, a billion-dollar brand at one time, and turn it into one of the most irrelevant beauty brands around today? And is Skin by Kim officially dead, or is there hope for a comeback? It was probably inevitable that Kim Kardashian would eventually enter the beauty world with her own brand. Other celebrities like Jessica Alba, Drew Barrymore, and Kim's own sister Kylie had already launched successful beauty brands in the early to mid 2010s, and Kim, whose career was pretty much built around her appearance, was always going to be part of that world, right? Especially seeing as her signature look had such a big influence on beauty trends for a whole generation of people. The contouring, the highlighting, the nude lips and the smoky eyes, the Instagram makeup. Whether you are a fan of it or not, Kim Kardashian's look has always been widely copied. So when she announced in June of 2017 that she was launching her own brand called KKW Beauty, nobody was particularly surprised. And back then, not all celebrities were constantly pumping out brands. A few were, not everyone. The brand officially launched on its website just a week later, and it was a pretty immediate success. They kept the initial launch simple, debuting with just the cream contour, so I can't say that word, creme, it makes it, and a highlight kit in 4 shades. The kits were marketed as a way for people to get Kim's signature look themselves, and her fans and pretty much everyone else were very keen to do just that, with some of the shades selling out in a matter of minutes. Contouring became huge because of Kim Kardashian. Well, I should say mainstream because of Kim Kardashian. And we know it's often just a marketing ploy when brands, especially celebrity brands, say they're sold out super quickly, right? When in reality, they probably only launched with a tiny amount of stock anyway, so they could announce that they were sold out. A lot of brands do that, and it's actually kind of annoying. But in this case, the demand and overall hype was definitely real, and it continued with future product launches too. They followed the really successful contour and highlight kits with a powder version, as well as the liquid lipsticks just a couple months later. And these were generally quite well received. Some reviewers had small issues with the products, but overall, they were mostly positive reviews, and fans were just as excited to get their hands on all the products they had to offer. And for a couple of years, this trend continued. I mean, the Kardashians were so huge. The brands were obviously going to be huge for a very long time too. They launched concealer kits, eyeshadow palettes, as well as collabs with Kylie Cosmetics, Kim's makeup artist Mario, what's his face? Makeup by Mario, and model Winnie Harlow. Again, all of which were fairly well received and sold at an impressive rate too. And in fact, in KKW's first year in business, they brought in over 100 million in revenue, which is a pretty successful start by anybody's standards, by any company's standards. And that's without even talking about KKW Fragrance, which Kim had launched just a few months after KKW Beauty, arguably with the same level of success. And the first release included crystal-inspired perfume bottles with the scents all based on the gardenia flower. All 3 fragrances available at launch sold out within a few days. That was 300,000 bottles, and it brought in over $10 million just with that initial drop. So really, whatever your thoughts are about Kim Kardashian and the Kardashians in general, Kim Kardashian's entry into the beauty world was undoubtedly a success. A very successful one. Within the space of just a few years, she had established 2 very profitable brands with a cult-like following. New and old products consistently sold out online, and there was a real regular buzz around product launches on social media, and some products like the original contour and highlight kits had a real noticeable impact on beauty trends at the time. All this led to Coty acquiring a 20% stake in KKW Beauty in 2021 for $200 million. Theoretically, theoretically giving the brand a value of $1 billion, just a couple of years after they'd acquire a controlling share in Kylie Cosmetics. Now, the plan was to use Coty's experience in the beauty world as well as their global distribution network to really take KKW Beauty to the next level, but that's not quite the way things worked out in the end. In July of 2021, just a few months after Coty came on board, Kim made an announcement that surprised a lot of fans. KKW Beauty was shutting down. There wasn't a huge amount of information at the time, other than that they were essentially just rebranding to create a new, more modern, elevated and sustainable brand and customer experience. This very vague statement led to a lot of speculation about why they were doing this at all, what might replace KKW Beauty, and how Kim might try to improve on her first venture into the beauty world. Many speculated that the move was driven in part by the fact that Kim had recently filed for divorce from Kanye, and that she wanted to distance herself from the West part of her name, which KKW Beauty obviously was partly based on. Others pointed to Coty being involved and advising a strategic rebrand to appeal to a more wider and profitable audience, or that it might have something to do with the lawsuit that both KKW Beauty and Kylie Cosmetics have been involved in, when the manufacturer for both brands, Seed Beauty, sued them for allegedly sharing trade secrets with Coty. The case was later settled out of court with nobody admitting to any wrongdoing whatsoever, but it did lead to speculation that Kim, along with Coty, decided just to rebrand and start with a fresh slate, rather than like reformulating the old KKW Beauty products, seeing as they no longer be using Seed Beauty as a manufacturer. I also think Kim Kardashian herself had rebranded in a big way. You can see the difference between KKW Beauty and Skin, that they look like two completely different brands by two completely different people. I feel that's where Kim Kardashian started going. You know, she used to be very much like glam, you know, like glam. And then she kind of transitioned into beige puffer jackets and leggings, you know, like the rebranding wasn't just her brand. But whatever the case, nobody really knew what was happening with Kim's new beauty brand for almost a year, until there was an announcement at the start of June of 2022 saying that Skin by Kim would officially launch on the 21st of that month. The announcement of what Skin would be was a little bit surprising for a lot of people. I mean, it's obviously in the name, Skin would focus on skincare. But this seemed like an odd choice for a lot of fans. At the time, KKW Beauty focused pretty much entirely on makeup. So when fans were told KKW was closing down to rebrand, they were expecting a new makeup brand or like something like that, you know, something to take its place. Or at least the new brand would have some type of makeup going on, right? Makeup, skincare, fragrances, all under one umbrella. But that wasn't the case at all, at least not initially. Part of what Coty brought to the table was a higher level of expertise in the world of skincare. And this is something that Kim really wanted to capitalize on. And this was around the time that so many other celebrities were launching skincare brands. So she's obviously seen other celebrities have success launching skincare brands and kind of jumped on that bandwagon. It probably seemed like a good idea at the time, but as we all know, it didn't exactly work out as she had hoped though, but we'll get into that in a moment. So first of all, let's talk about what fans did get from Skin's initial lineup. The initial launch introduced a 9-step skincare system, which I have tried, but this isn't a review video. You could go and watch my review video on Skin by Kim, but I'll tell you a little bit my thoughts along the way. So the products consisted of a cleanser at $43, which is a lightly foaming cleanser developed to gently dissolve any makeup, water-resistant residues, unwanted oils, and impurities without stripping or irritating the skin. Honestly, this was nothing special, a good basic cleanser, but way overpriced, in my opinion. The toner at $45, a skin renewing toner using double acidic and enzymatic exfoliation to help reduce the appearance of pores and enhance skin texture. It isn't really a toner, it's another exfoliator, so it's not hydrating at all in any way, and they also launched another exfoliant. So yeah, it's an exfoliating toner, but not necessarily a good one. They also launched an exfoliator, which was $55, a double mechanical and again enzymatic exfoliator that helps promote skin resurfacing. They say helping skin look renewed, refreshed, and revitalized. This was horrible. This felt like shards of finely milled glass poking into your face. It wasn't gentle at all. It hurt while using it. It made my skin red and stingy when I applied products after it. They also had a hyaluronic acid serum at $90, which was a multi-molecular weight hyaluronic acid serum that they said delivers long-lasting 72-hour moisture and helps reduce dehydration and the appearance of fine lines. Another ridiculously expensive serum. For what it is, you can go to The Ordinary and get the same thing. They had their own take on the vitamin C serum, the vitamin C8 serum at $90, featuring a powerful dose of vitamin C8 to help boost collagen synthesis. It was apparently clinically proven to diminish the appearance of pigmentation, wrinkles, and fine lines. This was horrific to use. It shoots out at you when you first try to use it. It felt like the old-fashioned vitamin C's where they smelled like money and felt stingy, watery, smelled like hot dog water. There was no excuse to have a vitamin C serum like this in today's modern day and age. A face cream at $85, a luxuriously indulgent firming moisturizer that works to nourish and revive the skin, formulated with postbiotics and enriched with a natural alternative to retinol, bakuchiol, claiming to visibly improve firmness, fine lines, and elasticity, and overall radiance. This was not great either. It provided very surface level moisture. It didn't feel like it was hydrating your skin at all and kind of made your skin look very crepey and oily. The eye cream at $75 was a moisturizing eye cream that preserves elasticity while acting to reduce puffiness and fine lines around the eyes. This is the best product in the whole line. I absolutely loved it. Firmness, plumping of fine lines, a good plumping under the eyes just to make your eyes kind of like not look so shallow. I absolutely love this one, but still overpriced. Oil drops at $95, developed with a highly stable, active form of vitamin C. Another form of vitamin C, again supposedly helps with the appearance of pores and immediately promotes radiant glowing looking skin. This is just an oil. And then they had the night oil at $95 too, nourishing recovery treatment developed to help re-energize the skin overnight for supple, smooth, and glowing skin by morning that feels hydrated and plumped. I have never seen my pillowcase looking so disgusting in my whole life. This transferred like crazy. I just didn't like any of it other than the eye cream. Now, this lineup was developed in collaboration with Joanna Czech, who worked with Kim for over a decade, as well as having a long list of celebrity clients. And the idea around the whole 9 core products was that they were supposed to be used to mimic Kim's own skincare routine, which she claims was essential to managing her psoriasis and maintaining healthy skin despite her demanding lifestyle. This was supposed to move away from being just another celebrity beauty brand cashing in on their fan base, and instead move towards a more refined, high-end luxury beauty brand. This was particularly evident with the packaging, which honestly I really, really like. This was like this minimalist aesthetic with neutral tones and almost like a stone-like, almost concrete finish. They seem like little works of art, like little sculptures, and I did really like them. I feel like they fit in like everyone's bathroom. The website and marketing also gave a more sophisticated feel. The images they used were generally very simple and quite classy, a little bit more grown up than what we had seen from KKW. And many have noticed the minimalist approach also crept into the naming of the products, literally just called like cleanser, eye cream, oil, that kind of stuff. All of this gave the impression that Kim really wanted Skin to be a luxury skincare brand that took her from being talked about alongside other influencer brands to being the next like Estee Lauder or Elizabeth Arden. And she even said as much when she announced Skin herself. She stated, "In all of my business endeavors, I've been fueled by my passion to fill the gaps in the market with expertly crafted and universally loved products that are performance driven, and I have carried the same drive and approach with me into creating a legacy skincare brand." The thing is, you can't just say that your brand is a legacy skincare brand. That's kind of like not how that works. You don't decide if your brand becomes a legacy brand. The public does. And in this case, the public didn't seem to agree with Kim. Initially, when Skin launched, reviews by traditional beauty media were mostly positive. Beauty editors praised the brand for its clean, sculptural packaging and this elevated spa-like aesthetic that they were aiming for. They appreciated the minimalist branding, which they saw as a smart pivot, which reflected a more mature, wellness-driven Kim Kardashian. But we all know that these traditional outlets tend to be a bit more forgiving when it comes to product reviews. And although influencer reviews definitely aren't perfect, they are often more honest. So it's no surprise that the influencer reviews and average consumer reviews of the brand weren't quite as positive as the media's. Many felt that the products just weren't up to scratch, with some of the formulations and even product categories feeling old-fashioned and not in keeping with the brand's modern image. I mean, she had like a hyaluronic acid and vitamin C, which every brand was doing at the time, and others providing either lackluster results or, like with the exfoliating toner, downright just plain negative results. And even when people weren't complaining about the formulations, price became a major issue for a lot of consumers. The only product that people seemed to agree was actually good was the eye cream, but at $75, it just wasn't worth That when you could get just as effective eye creams or even better products for a much cheaper price. And honestly, it was the same for pretty much every product in this lineup, even the ones like the cleanser or the hyaluronic acid, which some people liked or at least thought of it as fine, like it was fine, they were still 2 or 3 times more expensive than what the formulations warranted. And with the complete 9-product lineup setting you back almost $600, it led a lot of consumers questioning if skin was anywhere close to being value for money. It really wasn't. It really wasn't. Many felt like Kim had just suddenly decided to charge luxury skincare prices in an attempt to force us to view the brand as luxury skincare. And that's what it felt like. She was like, I am luxury, look, my products are expensive. When in reality, Skin wasn't using any groundbreaking or innovative ingredients, techniques. They were just average and often outdated formulas that couldn't justify their price tag. And this feeling of fake luxury didn't just stop at the formulations. Even the packaging, which had been widely praised for its sleek, minimalist aesthetic, didn't live up to its closer appearance upon closer inspection. Many pointed out that although these products do look great, when you actually got your hands on them, it was just cheap, flimsy plastic. It looked luxurious in a picture, but it didn't feel luxurious or in real life. And while we're on the topic of the packaging, let's talk about the accusations of greenwashing the brand received. Skin was promoted as this eco-conscious, sustainable brand, with the refillable packaging being a major selling point in a lot of their marketing. But a lot of consumers felt that the packaging was impractical and excessive, with many pointing out that the refills were almost as bulky as the original containers themselves. It was literally like there was just an extra plastic sleeve packaging surrounding the plastic packaging, which was meant to be the refillable part. It was pointless. There was no point, which obviously ruined the idea of minimizing waste and negated any supposed environmental benefits. It wasn't eco-friendly at all. It was just wasteful and unnecessary. And on top of that, Skin faced backlash because, like everything else, even the brand name didn't seem authentic or original. Just before Skin launched, the brand was involved in a trademark dispute and lawsuit. This seems to be a thing with the Kardashians, and this is because another brand was already using the name Skin Plus. Skin Plus was a small Black-owned business founded by Cindy Lunsford, and it had been operating under that name since 2018, well before the idea for Skin by Kim even came about. Skin Plus offered facials and skincare products out of a Brooklyn spa, and it had been an established presence on social media and in the local community for a very long time. So when Kim's legal team filed trademark applications for Skin and Skin by Kim, Lunsford's legal team responded with a cease and desist letter. Speaking out about the issue, Lunsford said, "I have painstakingly built my successful small business with my own sweat, equity, hard work, and research. It's clear that I established my brand first. As a young Black woman, my mission with Skin Plus is to provide quality skincare and curated full body experiences to enhance each client's self-care regime." And her legal team added, "It's hard to believe that Kardashian's team either did not know about the prior use of Skin Plus or knew and adopted the Skin brand name anyway to steamroll a small minority business." The news of this trademark dispute sparked outrage online, with a lot of people criticizing Kim for using her money, power, and influence to push out a smaller independent brand. And it didn't stop there. There was also another brand with a similar name which had launched before Kim's brand came out. In October of 2021, Lori Harvey, model and daughter of Steve Harvey, launched her own skincare brand, Skin by LH. Let's just say that obviously a lot of people noticed the obvious similarity when Kim announced her brand Skin by Kim. It also wasn't lost on people that both brands Kim was accused of copying happened to be run by Black women, and people weren't shy about calling Kim out for her unoriginal choice of brand name. And response to the news led to comments like, "Kim naming her skincare brand Skin when Lori Harvey's skincare brand name is Skin doesn't sit right with me. Seems like they're stealing from a Black woman for the 1,000th time." And so Lori Harvey launched a skincare line called Skin, and not long after that, Kim K launches a skincare line with the same similar products called Skin. One thing Kardashians will always do is steal from Black culture / creators for a profit. And despite the trademark lawsuit later being dropped, the damage was pretty much already done. Considering that Kim and the other Kardashian Jenners had already been accused of appropriating Black culture in the past, and a few other cultures, let's be honest, with kimono, this definitely wasn't a good look for the brand at all. And this, along with all the other issues people had with Skin, led to a lot of consumers accusing Kim of just jumping on the skincare bandwagon. It didn't feel like an authentic attempt to enter the luxury skincare space and to provide provide legitimate, good quality products to her fans. But rather, it felt like just another attempt to cash in on her loyal fan base, the same way a lot of other celebrities have done in recent years. Instead of being seen as aspirational like Kim had hoped, the brand was seen by many as entitled, tone-deaf, and aggressive in its treatment of smaller brands. All this meant that Skims' popularity upon launch was nowhere near what they had expected. Most people thought that Skin would follow in the KKW Beauty's footsteps, selling out within minutes and generating huge buzz on social media. But in reality, sales were much slower than expected, and none of the products sold out anywhere near as quickly as KKW Beauty products had, if they sold out at all. I remember panicking to get this, thinking it would be sold out so quick, and it wasn't at all. It was available like a week after it launched or something like that. And most of the talk about the brand online was now tarnished by the controversies, the criticisms that we discussed moments ago. So it's probably not surprising that sales figures were never released for Skin. Like, usually when a brand is doing well, they can't wait to tell you how many products they've sold and how many millions they have made. With KKW Beauty, Kim would actually often proudly share revenue milestones and sales figures, but when it came to Skin, this kind of information was conveniently kept under wraps. After the products were initially launched, and people could try them out and see what they thought, most of the excitement died off really fast, and Skin's momentum died with it. Initially, it was reported that Skin was planning on expanding into major retail chains the year after it launched, but those partnerships with retail outlets like Sephora or Ulta never happened. They just didn't happen. And we also saw basically nothing in the way of new products for years. It was like Kim and Coty basically gave up on the brand after launching the first product lineup. Skin was supposed to be like a reinvention for KKW Beauty, a step towards becoming a more legitimate and respected beauty brand with an attempt to enter into the luxury space. But despite the initial excitement around the launch of Skin, all the attempted rebrand really did was alienate consumers even further and make them question what Kim was even doing in the skincare world in the first place. Just a year later, basically no one was talking about the brand. To be fair, there wasn't anything to talk about. Like, the initial lineup had been reviewed and found lacking in so many areas, so it wasn't like it was still being used by many people at all or repurchased. There were no new products to review or get excited about. Skin had quickly faded into irrelevancy. It seemed at this point like Kim would need to do something big to bring Skin back to life, a drastic change of direction, or some innovative new product to get fans excited again. And, well, she didn't deliver anything, but she did try something. Instead of innovation or evolution in the skincare world, we got a half-assed KKW Beauty reboot. In 2024, Kim launched Skin by Kim Makeup, which is a terrible name, terrible name. The new lineup consisted of a lip liner in 15 nude shades, a soft matte lip color in 10 matte nude shades, and a 12-shade matte eyeshadow palette. Kim stated that this launch was in direct response to fans requesting her more iconic makeup products, all recreated with skin-loving formulas, to blend with the skincare ethos. I don't think anybody requested that. It's like when influencers are like, everyone's been asking me about this product, and literally no one gives a shit. And let's just say people didn't exactly go crazy over what was essentially KKW Beauty 2.0, just with grey packaging this time and half the original brand's most popular products missing. Even further product launches later that year, like the introduction of a hybrid gel powder highlighter and a lip gloss, failed to get anyone excited, with people saying things like, packaging just isn't it. I get minimalism is trendy and can be sexy, but she just made the product look like some construction cement item. Nude lip glosses, how exciting. This is just KKW repackaged, same nude, same vibe, different name. And she gave us the old collection back with the worst packaging and higher prices. To many, this just seemed like a desperate attempt to bring back some of that hype that KKW Beauty generated to salvage something from the sinking ship that was Skin by Kim. But the failure to get anyone excited about the new makeup line was apparently the final straw for Coty, with the company agreeing to sell their 20% share of the brand back to Kim for $71 million less than they had paid for it, only less than 3 years later. So Kim Kardashian is back in full control of Skin. Like, what's she gonna do with it? What can she do with it now? Where does Skin go from here? There has been a lot of speculation about what she might do, but there hasn't been much information given about the direction the brand might go in now. All we've heard is claims in an interview with Harper's Bazaar that fragrance is definitely coming. She added, "We are really taking our time to make sure the packaging, the scents, the entire experience is perfect and exactly what you would expect." And to be fair, fragrances would probably be a very good place to start. The KKW fragrances were hugely successful and lots of people have been asking for them to be brought back for a really long time. I think people would actually really like that. I feel like fragrances are easy to sell. She still gets comments asking her to do fragrances again, so that's the obvious step forward, right? But what about everything else? What about the skin part of skin? In that same interview, she said, "I want Skin by Kim to be everything that completely makes you look like your best self, starting with your skin and everything that makes skin its best self." That's a terrible quote. She said the same thing twice, 2 different times. I do that. I don't know why I'm laughing. So it sounds like she still wants skin to be an umbrella for all aspects of beauty, like she originally planned back in 2021. But does that mean we'll be getting a new skincare line at some point, new skincare in general? Or is she just going to add products in other areas like makeup and fragrances? We haven't had any new skincare products since the original 9-product lineup, and I wouldn't exactly say those were everything that makes skin its best self, or that they were interesting in any way whatsoever. So I would hope that at some point she'll release new formulations, hopefully something a bit more exciting and innovative than her first try, and preferably something much more affordable on the affordable side of things, because $90 for an old-fashioned vitamin C serum, or $85 for that very basic moisturizer, is really not what we're looking for. I feel like Kim Kardashian, especially when she was with Kanye, was very desperate to be taken seriously in the fashion space and the luxury space. But the issue is simply turning up to fashion shows, Fashion Week, and wearing luxury clothing doesn't make you luxury. It doesn't make people take you or your brand seriously as a luxury skincare brand purely because you are seen in these spaces and seen wearing certain things. I would love to see Skin by Kim almost go in a more Glossier direction, in the sense that her brand doesn't need to be for people who want to improve their skin condition. Her brand needs to be for people who already have good skin, who want to make their skin look nicer. Tinted moisturizers, clear brow gels, all about that perfect base before you then go into a skin makeup. I don't think people look at Kim Kardashian and think of her as a voice of authority on skincare whatsoever. So having this makeup skincare hybrid that leans way more towards skincare is probably an interesting direction for her to go. Other than that, the only real update we've had about Skin by Kim is that it's been purchased by Skims, her shapewear and clothing brand, in March of this year, 2025. The statement on Skims' Instagram page says, "We're excited to announce Skims has acquired Skin by Kim. Enjoy your favorite skin essentials for a limited time as we prepare to relaunch under Skims brand." That makes sense to me, like body stuff. Tanning, body care, shimmery shit, you know? My first thought here is that, does anybody actually have any favorite skin essentials? I think that might be wishful thinking. I'm not sure, like, there are crowds of people rushing to stock up on overpriced skincare products, really. It's led to a lot of speculation, though, about whether the skincare lineup will be completely new and reformulated, which I think it should be, or will it just be the same 9 products, but with Skims rebranding on it? We'll just have to wait and see. Hopefully it's something new. I mean, I'd still be interested in it. To be fair, bringing the brand under the Skims umbrella is probably a good idea. Unlike Skims actually has some cultural pull. It's a hugely popular brand, which is talked about non-stop over the internet, especially on TikTok at the moment, and it could help give skin or a new skincare line a bit more credibility, at least at first. But again, it doesn't matter how much hype there is beforehand. If the products don't deliver, then it's not gonna work. Skincare is far too saturated a space, and there are too many good quality, affordable products on the market, and everyone is so well educated on skincare. It's not enough just to launch oils and serums that every other brand does. For a brand to find success just because it's backed by a celebrity, it just doesn't happen nowadays. This will be the second attempt at a rebrand now. Hopefully, Kim has learned something from the first one, and hopefully she's realized that skincare can't be insincere. You can't just say it's environmentally friendly when your refillable packaging makes it more wasteful. You can't just say the products are performance driven if they don't get good results, and you can't just say it's a legacy skincare brand before you've had any impact on the skincare world.